Hello everyone, I am Lolly. I am so glad you are back with me today. 6 years ago, I did a video called Crafting Copycats. It was a pretty popular video for a while until I took it down for many reasons, one of which was comments and an email even from an attorney stating that I was giving legal advice. To be clear, I am not giving any legal advice. Everything in this video is my opinion. I'm bringing to you my thoughts and hoping we can engage in conversation. I thought I would redo the video and post it again. So, attorneys, I'm not stealing your thunder. If you as a viewer have any real legal questions, obviously you need to speak to an attorney, but it needs to be a copyright attorney who specializes in these things. I just want to talk about what is going on in the creative community. There are many times when creators can get out of sorts with each other due to perceived copying or stealing ideas. And so that's what I wanted to discuss. And in my mind, when I look at it, I think of several different categories of imitation. One is that we can be a creator, someone who comes up with an original idea. Now, you know, that is hard nowadays because it seems like everything's been thought of already, right? However, it is possible to still come up with a genuinely new idea, but it's also possible to come up with what I think is a new idea when it's actually been out there a while and I just hadn't seen it. It is possible. We are so creative that, of course, two creators can come up with a very similar idea even at the same time or a couple years apart without realizing and never seeing each other's work. So exercise kindness when approaching someone about this. I've seen a situation where a creator can say, "This is my idea, and don't you dare copy it, and don't you dare do a video like it, even if it's your own take on my idea." But even though a little bit of research reveals that idea's been around for a long time, and so clearly you have a creator thinking they came up with something new and they're already nervous that someone's going to steal their idea, but it's already been around. So again, let's just exercise some kindness and not immediately assume someone's taking our ideas. However, so because of that, do I research first before I create something that I think is new? And the answer is no. For one thing, I can come up with something and think, how am I going to name this? And I might call it a 6-pocket journal, you know, whatever. I can't Google 6-pocket journal and see if anyone's come up with the idea because they might call it someone else. They might call it the flip-flap notebook. And I would never, ever find that on there because I wouldn't know what they called it. So we could spin our wheels just constantly trying to research and see if something has already been created. It's very hard to do. So I really don't research to see if someone has already come out with an idea. So like, I've done so many different things that I consider to be original, but I'm not 100% positive. So let's look at this. Look, this is my little shaker phone here. It's vintage. Is it my idea to have a shaker phone? No. Is it my design? Yes. I mean, this is my image. I actually used my image of an actual phone I have in my house. I'm going to put a picture right here. That's my phone, and this is what I did based on that phone. And the reason is I have a written list of all the shaker designs that I want to create. And so I will think, okay, it's time for me to make another one. I'll go to my list, pull it out, and I'll do a video. And it may happen that someone has just put up a video of a shaker phone. That doesn't mean that I saw it, their video, or that I'm copying them or stealing from them. Like I said, I made my own SVG of this looking at my phone. So in that situation, I consider myself a creator. The second category of person I would consider is the inspired. You know, I can see a project, I could get it inspired to try something similar. That is why I do videos. I want to inspire you to try something new, to try a construction technique. Just always remember to give credit where credit is due. I appreciate all of you who say, this is the project I'm making. I was inspired by Lolly. Really appreciate it. And I also try to do the same myself. If I'm inspired by someone, to say I was inspired by that person. Sometimes, yes, I have to go back through my video history and find who that was. You know, but definitely take liberties to change up what their, how they did it. For me, I'm always looking for an easier, simpler way to construct something. So I might be inspired by your project, but I want to come up with my own way of doing it. Here's my take on it. Here's what I changed. Do we need to say that we're inspired by somebody if we're giving a tool review, a review of a craft product? No. You know, I might be inspired to buy a tool because someone gave it a review. And sometimes I like saying that too. You know, I really wanted to buy this once I saw so-and-so's review of this product. So, but I don't have to say, you know, in that situation, I don't have to say I'm inspired by so-and-so to buy the tool. The next category of person is the copycat. Again, these are all my thoughts here. The copycat sees an idea and shares it as though it was their idea. I'm going to say her because I don't like saying they. I'm just going to say her idea. And kudos to you men out there who are wonderful creatives as well. So I personally have done a craft tutorial on how to do a new style of paperclip. And within the week, someone posted in a group, it's an exact replication of my paperclip, exact. Obviously, she used her own colors. Posted in a group, and everyone kept telling her how brilliant she was, and she just kept saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Never once said, well, it was from a tutorial from Lolly. And this happens a lot, and I think this is where it crosses the line to where creators are being upset because they see their ideas taken by someone else, and then they accept the credit for it, knowing that it really wasn't their idea. Another example was I did a tutorial. I did a video on a technique I was doing, and a friend immediately did that technique, put it on Facebook as her, the cover photo across the top on Facebook, and she was getting wonderful comments about how brilliant of an idea that was. And again, she said, thank you, thank you, thank you. Never said it wasn't her idea. So that is when some creators can be a little upset because they see that other people are taking credit for their work. And I think this creates dissension and it's more unethical. That's why I think it crosses the line. So are all copycats actually copycats? One of my friends said she posted a picture in a craft group of something she had made, and she got a comment on her picture that said, wow, you sure were inspired by me. And my friend said, no, I was inspired by my 7th grade teacher. I learned this in 7th grade. So in that instance, somebody thought that my friend was a copycat, was taking her designs and taking credit for it. When in actuality, she said, I've been doing this since I was, 12 or 13. So again, not all copycats are copycats. Let's extend some grace and some kindness. I don't know when that one creator had posted her video or her picture that made her think that this woman stole her idea. But Speaking of stealing, the last category I want to cover is what I would call the thief. And that is the person who really literally stole your images, your ideas for the purpose of gaining from it. So it's to defraud others. So for instance, in a craft swap, we can steal another person's photo to falsely represent our crafting abilities. We can see, like on Pinterest or in a Facebook group, we could download someone's photos and say, look at the creativity I have, aren't I amazing? You'll want to swap with me. And it convinces people to swap with you, but then you aren't able to actually send anything of that caliber if you send anything at all. So just keep in mind, if you are defrauded in swaps, keep all proof of correspondence between your swap. And just so you know, it is a federal offense to defraud people by mail. So that's what happens in a swap gone bad. What if they're just doing it to gain notoriety? Maybe they're building their social media and they're using your photos of cards you made and scrapbook layouts you made to build their social media and to gain followers. Again, completely unethical. And sometimes it can be done for profit to sell your design. So again, this is actually my SVG that I made based off my real phone. And so yes, I sell this design, the SVG, but you can't buy it, download it, and then sell my SVG. So obviously that would be considered theft. Also, you cannot sell items made with my SVG unless I grant you permission. So that's another time that I can see a thief would step in and take control of your images. So a lot of times you will see that's why creators will watermark, and put white all over the photo. When I sell my SVGs, just the photo itself of what you're buying, that has Palooza written all over it in a pale white. So not just personal creators, but even companies, many times their images are stolen. This is when you need to really be careful and talk to your copyright attorney, not just any attorney, but a copyright attorney. What about company logos? I saw a website, I was reading a community post on a website where several lawyers were discussing whether or not it was legal to use an NFL team's, football team's logo in your craft projects. Tumblers specifically, where they put like the wraparounds around the tumblers and sell them. And every one of the attorneys in the discussion said using a logo for personal use means exactly, literally what that says, personal use. Let's say that I was a big fan of the Dallas Cowboys and I wanted to use their logo. Personal use means I can use their logo to make a tumbler for me. That is personal use. Once I do that and give it to a friend, it's not personal use. Personal use is for me. This is what the attorneys were saying on this website. This is what I was reading from attorneys. So again, check with your copyright attorney. I'm not saying that you think it's right or fair. I'm just saying that's what these attorneys were stating. So don't shoot the messenger, okay? They said that is not personal use. So obviously you can't do it and sell it. And the question is, can you do it and give it to a friend if you're not earning any profit? These attorneys all said no. So that is something to consider. What about a stamp? So this is an old wooden stamp I have from Rubber Stampede. Now, clearly they had to pay royalties to be able to use a licensed character. I bought this stamp. Does that mean because I purchased it, I can do whatever I want with it? And short answer is no. Because I own this physical stamp does not mean that I own the image of Snoopy, the actual copyrighted image. That is, again, something we need to be careful of, because clearly we would know that just because we bought an SVG doesn't mean we own the copyright to that image to do with whatever we want with it. So please, I'm just exhorting you to exercise caution when using someone else's design, even if you paid to use it, it's probably personal use. You need to check on the legal agreement that you have when you purchase that. So many of the excuses that we use as to why we can do whatever we want with images that we see. We saw it on Pinterest. We saw it on Etsy. Other people are doing it. That doesn't mean it's legal. It just means they haven't been caught. Okay, so again, be careful. I want you to be creative. I want you to be crafty. I want you to make all the things, but I don't want you to cross the line and get in trouble. Another excuse we make is to using maybe copyrighted or someone else's images is, I'm only a small business. I'm not selling enough to get in trouble. There is no size limit on that. So if there is a no selling items made with this image rule or law, then it doesn't matter if I sell 1 or 100, it would still be illegal. So be careful. I've heard people say, I can do what I want and I can sell these items because I'm advertising for the company. The company wouldn't see it that way. So again, be careful. When you purchase something, an image, you purchase one of these, some of the sellers have a commercial license. I buy images, SVGs, on the Silhouette store, and I can opt to buy the commercial license. Some creators have a limited commercial license. Maybe you could sell up to 50 items with that you made. And so they have like different tiers as to how much you can make and sell. And you have to know what you're doing. Every company's different. Another trap we tend to fall into is something called the first sale doctrine. And again, I am not an attorney. From what I have read and what I have seen and what I've heard, a lot of crafters have assumed first sale doctrine means, well, I made a book with this stamp on the cover and I wasn't caught. I got away with it. So once I made that first sale, they can't go after me because selling it and not getting in trouble is their acceptance of the fact that I can do this. But that's not what the first sale doctrine means. I did hear an attorney on YouTube explaining it, saying first sale doctrine means that once it's sold, I'm trying to think of an example, a book is a good example. I like to take books apart and make something out of them. First sale doctrine is, I already bought this book. So here's an example. I bought this so I could take it apart because I love Pooh and Tigger and Eeyore and all of them. So I bought this. That was the first sale. So is it legal for me to go ahead and sell this book to someone? It is, because it's already past the first sale. That's what it means. I can sell it in its original, unaltered, unadulterated form, but I cannot cut it apart, reshape it, redo something with it, and then sell it again. Okay, that would violate the first sale doctrine. So making a purse out of something, making a book making something out of a book, I could make this like the front of a purse and put handles on it and try to sell it. That's what this attorney on YouTube was saying. First sale doctrine means I can only resell it in its original form. So if you have a problem with that, you again need to speak to a copyright attorney. I don't remember if this particular attorney was a copyright attorney. So these are some things to think about. And it's not always pleasant. Many people through the years have said to me that their entire approach to whether they can copy, imitate, resell, etc., their crafts was based on what feels right. And that's not how the law works, unfortunately. It seems like, well, I should be able to do this. That's not how the law works. So we want you to be successful. We want you to be inspired and develop a community of support among the creators. Do you have a problem with someone? Reach out to them privately at first, instead of just blasting them on YouTube or blasting them on social media, because it just might be that the person you think stole your idea really got the idea from her 7th grade art teacher. We just don't know. So Be careful, be supportive, be safe, be creative. Keep all your comments respectful, civil, and mature, and let's have a great discussion. Differing opinions are welcome as long as they're civil and respectful to all parties. Thank you for watching, and again, this is my opinion, and you will need to speak with a copyright attorney for whatever your individual problems are. Thank you.